Prisoner transportation to and from Lager Sylt was described by SS Private Johann Scutley as crammed into the ship's hold like sardines in a tin. The SS senior leader Braun ensured that during transportation, prisoners could only receive limited fresh air and were denied basic facilities such as the toilet. Due to Alderney being a remote island, upon arrival in early 1943, many SS prisoners were unaware where they had been shipped to. Georgy Kondakov, a former prisoner of Helgoland, recalls passing a Sylt prisoner who asked, "Who are you? Are you Russian? What is this land?" Although conflicted within archive research, it could be considered from initial post-war inquiries that Sylt prisoners came from many different nationalities. A former German armed forces engineer recalls in 1943 that the camp contained at the utmost 40 to 50 Russians, as well as approximately 100 to 150 Spaniards, French men and women. A British military report from 1945 also states there were over 1,000 prisoners of mixed nationalities in Sylt. Despite these accounts, later investigations of Sylt stated all victims were Russian and further investigations were transferred to the Russian government. Similar to other concentration camps, prisoners were dehumanised upon arrival. Names were replaced by numbers, and a triangle symbol worn for imprisonment category identification. A former German construction worker recalls, "The names of the concentration camp prisoners were not known by any OT employee. They were kept secret by the SS command. The prisoners were only known by their numbers." The daily routine for prisoners can be seen one of survival. As one German political prisoner recalls, "We got up at 5 a.m, cleaned the barracks and had breakfast, and had roll call. We went to work at 6 or 7 o'clock, depending on the time of year. At 6 p.m. we finished work. We had a lot of beatings and mistreatment. One man moved a few steps from his place of work and got 25 lashes." Prisoner capos were frequently used to maintain discipline within Lager Sylt camp. An eyewitness account by Johann Burbach, a member of the German Armed Forces, describes an incident in 1943 when a prisoner was beaten with a piece of rubber tube by an SS capo. Another capo explained to a German crane operator at Bray Harbour that, "If I do not do it, I will get it in the evening myself." To encourage acts of brutality towards other prisoners, the SS rewarded the capos with a room to himself with a soft bed and white linen. The SS guards, who were specialised in techniques of discipline, used methods to control, torture and kill prisoners. A favoured technique to kill prisoners involved KZ concentration camp prisoners being driven by bloodhounds and through threats of the SS guards across the boundary and then being shot by the sentries. This was a favoured method of the SS to rid any prisoners they disliked. Prisoners who also tried to escape from Sylt suffered severe discipline, as SS Johann Scutley describes. "One case of ill treatment of convicts, which is particularly clear in my memory, occurred in spring 1944, when a German convict who had absented himself from his working site was recaptured and bound to the gate for several hours. The intense work combined with living conditions, climate, malnutrition, illness and brutality all resulted in the mass destruction of Russians, Ukrainians and Poles. Every morning a number of motionless bodies could be found in their beds, and those who were still alive had to go away to meet the killing work. The next morning the same thing went on, repeating itself each day. Due to injury, Klavnikov was required to help in the camp to take the dead away, pull bodies out of the plank beds and then carried them to huts which stood in the bracken. Crowds of rats which occupied the huts gnawed ears, noses and so on. A constant squealing could be heard in there. When the tip lorry arrived, we loaded it with 20 to 25 bodies. The National Socialist Motor Corps, NSKK, often transported the deceased prisoners from Sylt camp. A number of archive accounts relate to these prisoners being buried with a false bottom coffin.